Good morning and welcome. It is Monday, the 27th of June. I am Flatcap Callum. I'm hoping you are all very, very well. All right, coming up today, we've got new week, new energy, same strategy. That's what's happening. So we'll go through the review of yesterday, which was dire again, and then we've got today's bets. And then a word on the tennis, and I'll also do a word on the golf as well. But for the next couple of weeks, we'll have a word on the tennis as well. So if you missed it yesterday, the tennis bets are all on yesterday's video. You've got an hour or so to get them on if you want to get them on at current prices. So the tennis bets are all live, and they are for the whole tournament. I did debate doing some tennis bets on a kind of daily basis, but it's a bit too tricky. So I will be doing bets on tennis, and I guess if you want to get an insight, the types of things I'll be doing is looking at matches and normally doing 4-match accumulators. So if it's shorter odds, so less than even money, I would try and put 4 together, somewhere between even money and 1 to 3. I put 4 of those together to make up little accumulators. And then I'll also look through, which takes a lot longer, where are the likely upsets going to be. And then so anything basically above even money, and put them together in 4 or 5 match combinations and cover trebles accumulators. So just to give you a bit of an insight, it's just a bit too tricky, because as and when matches finish, then new matches become available for the next day. So it's quite a fluid thing following it on the tennis. So I'm just going to stick with the bet I've put out for the tennis on the channel, and that's it for now. All right. Yesterday, the last 3 days I've been horrendous. I remember talking on Friday morning saying it's a bit of a knocking on the door week, and then the last 3 days, probably the worst 3 days we've ever had on the channel. So it did end up being last week the worst week for the channel for horses, because of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I had it as total, I'm just checking on here, it was 25 on yesterday, and it totaled 94 back, so 94 pence back. So we've lost 3 day stake in 3 days. Basically, we were doing a little bit more, and the Curragh I'd almost completely written off on the Curragh. I don't know what was going on the last 3 days. I would normally say I'm quite like the Curragh, but I could not hit a barn door from standing right in front of it this weekend. So yesterday's bets, what did we have? We started off with this. Ingleby Hollow was unlucky, really. It should have got placed, definitely, but didn't. Got traffic problems a number of times. Lord Getaway was fading. It had a chance of placing when it fell. And then next two disappointing, so nothing back on bet 1. And then bet 2, if you were Sky Bet, basically because Concert Hall got promoted to 4th, it was worth a couple of pence, but nothing else on there. Everything else got done on there. And then we had this one where we just had Sarobi place, and that was it. And that obviously meant that the cross doubles, trebles. So Eleanor sunk the trebles on the first leg. Second leg went quite well, particularly if you were Sky Bet. They paid, so that was 5th and that was 6th. Paid out both of those. So we had 2 going on, same as the day before. And then I couldn't hit anything in that 310 at the Curragh. So nothing back there. And then in this bet, the only thing I didn't cover was a single on Roman Dismain, which did place. I mean, it's not talking about life-changing money, clearly, but it did place at 20 to 1. And we had no single on that. So, 25 on, 94 pence back. And then just to give you a quick rundown, because, it is pretty grim. He says, now I can't find where I've written it. That's not the most effort. Oh, there we go. I've got it. We're live here. Last week we finished 125 on, 43.52 back. That's a loss of 81.48. So 4 days stake. We are still miraculously 27 ahead for the month on horses. So if you've done all bets, we're 27 ahead, so we're just still head above water. But last week, getting ahead for this month looked comfortable. We've now got 4 days to hold on to £27. So that's 14.5%. So we are still 14.5% to the good. But yeah, it's sort of leveling out. So May was the only lost month we had, and June is now fractionally ahead. If you balance them out over the last 2 months, you'd be even if you'd followed everything on the channel. Before that, you'd be comfortably ahead. So anyone who's joined in the last couple of months, you're not going to be making huge amounts of cash on here. So that was that, and then the golf. Actually, we did have a place that saved the day a little bit on the golf. So Kevin Kisner held his form, 100 to 1 place. So we had a 200 to 1 last week, 100 to 1 this week. The week before that was a 50 to 40 to 1 and 12 to 1 double. So we're ticking over on the golf. It wasn't enough to make profit because the main bet, the Lucky 15 bet, we got lost after 2 days, which had never happened on the channel before. So the golf was 10 on, 840 back. You may have got a better price for Kevin Kisner. I don't think there was much out there. I think 100s probably was the best. So almost an even week on the golf. Overall on the golf, we're 10% behind. So we're still tracking okay. In the last few weeks, it's definitely improved. And we've been getting a return every week, just not always profit each week. This week on the golf, we've got the John Deere Classic, probably where I'll do most of my stuff. The Irish Open as well, and it is the next Live tournament in Portland. So I'll have a little look across all 3 of those and see what I come up with for this week's golf bets. All right, that is all of that. What we got? Today's bet. This is it, the one and only bet, and I'm going to half stake it. So it's a £10 bet across 5 horses, with a little bit of complication in there. So starting early, 1 o'clock Southwell, 619. It was an 8-runner race, and I was much happier with it being an 8-runner race. It's now a 7-runner race, so it's less statistically favourable. So, but I'm keeping it in. But in essence, I was umming and ahhing about doing a Lucky 15 on the top 4, and then I had this one at the bottom, and I was a bit umming and ahhing. And then in the end, because the place terms changed there, I've done it like this. I'll explain it as I go. So 619, I like that horse, but 2 places and 7 runners is never favourable. So I've put it in though. And then we've got the main 3 legs that we've got more stake going on. The 215 Pontefract, Coley's Coco, 6 runner, 14 to 1. 230 Southwell Powdy, 10 to 1. Big odds on favourite. That to me is clear. It should be second favourite. So we're taking that one. Then 445 Round the Island, a small one there, 4 to 1. We've taken it before. I think it is Sky and Paddy are 4 on that race. And then the last leg, How Bizarre, 830 Musselburgh. I think there's value definitely in that price. The problem is I think the race is really competitive, and there's quite a lot of horses that are really well handicapped. So although it's a good price and there's value in it, it is a competitive race, and you could put chances against quite a lot of them. So I'm going to go with the price on the bet. So I've done it as a 12p each way Lucky 31 on all 5, and then I've done it as a 28p each way Trixie on what I think are my best 3, but clearly don't always get that right. But my 28p 8p each way Trixie on the best 3. And then just to make sure there's a little bit left over, the 16p each way double on the top one of the bottom ones. The 2 riskier ones, as I think, we've got an extra 16p each way double. That should round it up to £10. That is what I've got for today. So yeah, I was going to have nothing in the evening, and then we've got a 4-hour gap. So it could be we've got a 4-hour gap waiting for something exciting, or it could be a 4-hour gap because nothing has gone down and it's the only chance I've got anything of getting anything back. But we'll see. That is what I've got this for today. As far as tennis goes, if you're on the tennis bets, basically the women's side of the draw is doing quarter 3 and quarter 4 today. So all of the women we've got in the Lucky 15s, they are playing today, and the men will be playing tomorrow. Okay, that is me for the day. Let's hope this week goes better than last week. Thanks for sticking around. I know not everyone will do, but I also know the vast majority of you do understand what I'm getting, what I'm doing here. And the point is, I've made profit since I've started. So it was a bad week, a really bad week. As I said, the worst week for horses I've had on the channel. But maybe things can only get better, but that song, maybe, I don't know. We'll find out if that's factually correct this week. Thanks very much. Cheerio.